So what's the process of all of this?
Well, we kick around ideas for the week before, and we'll usually settle on one pretty quickly. Shooting it's about a day, less than a day, anywhere from 6 hours. 6 hours like the most we'll spend shooting something. We'll do a day of editing, more or less, and then VFX, sound, music, color correction, all that stuff happens relatively concurrently, and that takes anywhere from 1 to 3 days.
And then it goes up what day during the week?
Wednesday or Thursday, someday, one of those 2 days.
Maybe Friday this week.
Maybe Friday this week.
You never know.
Because we're taking the time, sorry guys.
We never set a hard schedule. We kind of like to just put it out whenever is the most timely, because we like to time up the releases with, you know, like certain holidays, or time them up with certain events.
Describe your shoots in terms of how many people are involved, and because some of the YouTubers, it's just them maybe in front of a wall or a green screen, but you, typically it's obviously you, but you involve other people, a cast, it's a bit more.
Yeah, we don't come into this like with the same like, camera department is 3 people. It's the DP, camera operator, and we don't have like grips or anything like that. So it's still very minimal. And most of the time, you know, it's just our friends who are like, hey, can you help out or something? It's usually just, you know, schlepping stuff around. You know, we'll occasionally get one of our friends, you know, to be like the, you know, de facto DP or something. But most people there, you know, are either getting shot in the background at some point. Our shoots with the most people are usually just, we need extras, you know? So, yeah, it's just friends hanging around. We don't really have defined crew positions, you know? At any point, you know, I'm in front of the camera a lot, but at any point I can pick up the camera and Brandon picks up the camera.
If you want to know how many people are on any given shoot, just basically take the most people that are in any one shot and add 1 for a camera operator. That's exactly what it is.
And then if it looks really nice, add 2 for somebody holding a reflector.
Yeah. That's the added spice.
Unless it's a tripod, then don't add.
Yeah, unless it's a tripod, in which case the camera guy has hit the button and is holding the reflector for that shot.
And at that point, you were able to say, okay, full time? I mean, that's a big leap in terms of a risk, right?
Well, here's the thing with YouTube is that, like, the risk for full time, I think, is especially back in 2010, was you had to kind of commit to 3 to 6 months, you know, and we had known that kind of getting into it, and it was something that we were prepared to do, and we were pretty confident that we could sort of do that, because we had put videos out and we were sort of like seeing like, there seems to be an audience for this, and there's nothing sort of for that audience, because really there's no other way. You can't make it, you know, so to speak, any other way. You can't say, all right, let's kind of sort of part-time this for a while and do it. And you go to all the other partner guys, like, you know, Joe's the same way. It was like, at some point everyone has to decide, all right, we're just gonna give this our full commitment for a period of time and really try and go for it full time, because that's the only way you can really pull it off. And you also need to demonstrate consistency on the channel as well.
How many hours a week do you spend doing this?
Depends on the video and depends on how, you know, complex it is. The craziest weeks are pretty intense.
We really should just come up with an answer to that question sometime, because we always get people ask us like, how many hours a week do you spend? And we're always like, it's like, we should just say something, I don't know. Each idea has a different level of work in doing it.
Yeah, so Future Rock Band we came up with like the day before. So that was 24 hours for that one, I can tell you, because that was the most time.
24 straight hours, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so anywhere from like 20 to 100.
Let's talk about equipment. What do you use?
Well, we use pretty much whatever we can get our hands on. The cameras that we use right now, we use Sony EX1, Canon 60D, and we like that one over the other DSLRs because it's got the little flip-out screen, which is handy because sometimes, you know, you need to get low-angle shot or a high-angle shot, so it's good for that. Point of view camera, we have one of these GoPro Hero cameras that we just got because some skydivers told us that it's like the cool thing to get. So, you know, that's worked out pretty well for us.
Cool.
They're cool dudes.
They're way cooler than we are.
They're your bros.
So, yeah, exactly. And then occasionally I have a little Canon Vixia HF S200. I think it's like a little handheld one.
We're doing a bigger stunt. We have everyone whip out their iPhone cameras and they film too. And actually, that has made it into some of the videos.
Oh, really?
The iPhone camera has made it. Yeah, the guy falling in Time Crisis, the top angle is an iPhone camera shot. So really, whatever camera we can get our hands on.
If you're looking for a budget camera that's going to turn out really well, right now the Canon Rebel T2i.
T2i is good. Yeah,
is the best.
Sound-wise, we usually use onboard camera mic. We'll, you know, occasionally we'll throw like a shotgun microphone and boom pole and stuff in there. We usually don't have enough people to handle that, so you know, we'll either dub it in later. Audio, you know, a lot of people actually ask me about the audio that we use for recording, like, you know, like ADR and like sound effects and stuff. I have a Shure KSM-27, which is the one that I use. I like it because it has good roll-off features. For editing right now, we're Mac-based, so we do Final Cut Pro and After Effects. However, on PC, Adobe Premiere is really good, and so is After Effects for
Yeah, After Effects. I mean, you are the After Effects specialist on YouTube. Do you have any tricks of the trade?
Yeah, learn. You go to videocopilot.net, right?
Yeah.
We found the best tutorials are at Video Copilot, and this is, you know, having gone through and trying to learn stuff ourselves, trying to find where the tutorials are. That's a good place to start. It'll get you going as far as like how to use the program.
Or find a friend that already knows how to use After Effects. So seriously, if you have a friend that can do it, like buy them a 12-pack of soda or something.
Yeah.
Go over, sit down, and just sit there and work and talk to them, ask questions.
What advice can you give other people who are wanting to start out on YouTube?
Well, the one I always go back to is you have to be consistent. You have to keep making stuff, and it doesn't matter if you think it's bad or whatever. It doesn't help you at all in terms of like getting better or improving if you're never actually practicing the skills you need. I'd say take whatever camera you can get. If it's the one on your phone, perfect. If you have to borrow it from a friend, fine. You know, whatever computer you have, whatever editing software you have, willing to bet 99% of the time you have everything you need already to make a movie. And it doesn't need to be a big special effects scene movie or anything like that, you know? You don't have to be doing what we're doing. You take a scene from a movie that you like a dialogue scene even, get a couple of friends and just shoot it, try and copy it shot for shot. Just start making stuff, you know, and take whatever idea you have and make it anyway, and just put it out there and just see how it is, and, you know, ask your friends, ask your family, you know, what they think, and just keep working on it and keep working on improving. You're not going to improve by sitting around and thinking about the movies you're going to make.
Yeah, too often we find people are hung up. They've got this, they think it's the only idea they're ever going to have, so they got this perfect idea and they're going to work on it. They want to get everything arranged to have this masterpiece right out of the gate, and they end up spending months and months and months. And either it never gets done, or if it does get done, it doesn't turn out to be as good as they think it is, and they get discouraged. So we find it's like, instead of spending months and months and months trying to get something off the ground to do it, just work with whatever you have, make something, finish it, get it out, and then move on to the next one, the next one, the next one.
Do you write your videos out or storyboard them at all?
They're kind of roughly, our videos are kind of roughly outlined in our heads.
Yeah. More
or less, you know, so we have an idea, so like Chrono Trigger, the idea in our head was, okay, we're gonna do a time freeze thing, I'm gonna call time out, and in that one we were almost coming up with it as we were going, you know. And we don't really storyboard, like draw a pen and paper, because like we're terrible artists.
Yeah.
We do this thing like video storyboarding. What we'll do is if it's a very complex sequence, we'll run through it. And there's some examples on our second channel, like we did for Time Crisis, where we ran through it with just our friends in a really crappy camera, just really quick to see what would work and like what shots we would need and what shots we need to get. And armed with that kind of knowledge, it's pretty easy to go in and be like, okay, we're gonna get this shot first, and it's only gonna go up to here before we're gonna cut, so we don't need to make this part perfect, so we can cut to here, and so that way we can kind of get through the sequence really quickly and really efficiently.
Yeah. So how do you stand out amidst all the noise?
I mean, I think
yell loudly.
Jump up and down, wave your hands.
Shoot your gun.
It's tough because you kind of just have to not worry so much about standing out, because if you spend all your time worrying about that, you're kind of going to miss the point. You know, I think as far as like YouTube goes, it's just very basically make videos people want to see. You know, and if people want to see it, they'll start to come to you, and you'll build it from there. It's not an overnight thing. You can't think of it like, you know, you can't look at the Piano Chat improv guy and be like, how can I do the next Piano Chat improv? I want to be able to become an overnight sort of smash hit like that. It's like, because it's like, well, you might as well go head down to your gas station and just get the whole roll of scratch tickets, because that's what you're basically doing. You're trying to win the lottery there, you know? You're better off, you know, just trying to figure out what people want to see, figure out what you like to make, find where that, you know, overlaps, and keep doing that and working at that, you know, because that's a more lasting sort of, I guess, popularity is one way of looking at it.
If you're gonna have a lasting thing, you really just have to make what you like to make, because ultimately, even if like, because Freddie and I, we like making action scenes, we like making sort of little VFX, like kind of trick videos, we like making, you know, it's our personality. And if we happen to be the type of guys that like making, you know, dramas, but we're like, oh, but there's a void in the action movies in YouTube, let's just make action movies. Like, we would never be able to sustain it for a year.
Because it's not something you're passionate about.
Yeah, you get burned out.
The all-nighters, late up, you know, up to 3 a.m. working on stuff.
You wouldn't do it.
Happened. We didn't really love the product. And so ultimately, you're just gonna have to make what you love to make, and just keep practicing it and get better at it and do well.